Just hanging there. It's trying to take
Also,
me
no
to.
problem.
Okay, looks like we
Okay,
are
thank
live
you.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi Bibian.
Hi, yeah.
Sorry about the delay. It's because this is the first time we are using this platform, and it's because it can actually take up to 500 people. That's why we switched.
Oh,
So
okay.
when we saw that the yeah enrollment was going very fine, so we had to switch to a bigger platform. So, hi everyone, and welcome to this session. My name is Miriam, and I am the founder of Techavili and also the curator of We Connect. So, today we are going to be bringing someone online, and we are going to be talking about life as a foreign student. I myself, I was an international student, and I graduated. I'm working, and I'm fully stabilized in the US today. So welcome again, everyone, and let us know where you're joining from. Just put your location in the chat box. We are seeing everyone, and then we will take Vivian through this. I mean, Vivian will take us through this journey. So Vivian is a current student. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are currently studying.
Yeah,
She will be
I'm still a
graduating.
student.
Okay, awesome. So I also studied at Texas A&M in the US. I studied business analytics, and I graduated. I started working, and I am doing fine. Okay, so Bibian is a current student at University of Bradford in the UK, right? She's studying artificial intelligence and data analytics. This is big, you know. This is like the new oil now in the corporate world. If you're not doing analytics, you're you're missing. Let me just say that. So she recently secured an internship with one of the biggest companies in the UK. She's going to be talking about that also. I have a couple of questions for Bibian. Thank you, everyone. We see you and thank you for joining. So, Bibian, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive into the question? Please, if you have questions, you can just drop it in the comment section or in the chat box. Or if you want to speak, maybe towards the end of this, we're going to, you have to use the digital tool to raise your hand and then we bring you on to talk or ask your question. But you can go ahead and ask in the chat box. Yes, Bibian, can you
Yeah.
just take us through, tell
Hi.
us about yourself and then before we go into the questions.
Hi. First of all, thank you for bringing me on board. I'm really happy to be doing this. I've always wanted to share a bit of my journey, even though I've been sharing a bit of it on Facebook, but to do it on a formal platform like this, I've always wanted to do that. So, my name is Bibian Urum. I have been a lawyer for the past 6 years in Nigeria. I am still a lawyer. But a couple of years ago, I decided to pivot from the legal industry to technology. The plan at first was to see if I can find a meeting point between law and tech, or if I would just totally move away from law to technology. So I started doing a bit of research. I did a lot of research actually to find somewhere that being interesting enough for me, somewhere that will suit the kind of skills that I have that I would easily blend into. So I got really interested in product management, started taking a couple of courses on product management. And in the course of doing that, I found out that to be a product manager, you need to have an idea of the kind of products that you're going to be working with because you're basically going to be interfacing with people from, you're going to be the mini CEO. You'll be
Right.
interfacing with the software developers, the management team, the marketing guys, the back end guys. So I felt like I needed to have, because I'm going to be developing tech products. Obviously, I needed to have an idea of tech, and that's how I got interested in data analytics and data analysis, basically. So I did some courses on Coursera back home in Nigeria between 2020 was the year that I decided, I need to dig to know what I want to do. Then 2021 was when I tried doing some courses. I did some courses on Coursera, Udemy, YouTube. There are so many materials out there. Then, in the course of doing that, I learned about the UK government conversion courses for people in other industry who are looking to pivot to tech, particularly artificial intelligence and data analytics. And that was how I applied. I applied to a couple of schools to study basically data science, data analytics. I got admission to all the schools I applied to, but then I chose
Awesome.
Bradford. Yeah, so I've been here for the past 1 year studying applied artificial intelligence and data analytics, and it's been quite the experience. I've enjoyed it so far.
Wow. So you've been in the UK for about a year or a year plus right now.
Yeah, I moved in
So
on the 1st of January 2022, precisely.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not so long. Some people like feel it's going to be a lot, like spending so too many like spending a lot of time in applying before you get the admission offer, and then getting to go to where you want to go. It's not just UK, it could be anywhere, it could be in the US, anywhere. And then they feel like this is a lot. So I want us to demystify this process today, and just like a way of giving people hope, like, okay, it's not as hard as it could be hard. let
Yeah,
me
it
let
can
me
be
not
hard, but
lie.
it's
It's very hard
doable. It
and
can be hard, but
frustrating.
it's doable.
Yeah. So, I mean, my first question was going to ask is like, what informs your choice of course? And you already talked about that, where you're giving background
Yeah.
into, you already talked about that. So, what about the choice of school? What informed your choice of school? Why did you choose that school over other schools that you applied to?
So first, I think it was the course, because most of the other schools were either doing data analytics alone, or applied artificial, or just artificial intelligence alone, or data science. So I was looking for, when I saw that the school married both AI and data analytics, I felt like, okay, this is going to, because it's an advanced degree, I knew I wasn't going to be getting an in-depth knowledge of the course, but I felt like this is going to be a very good introduction to this. And in also considering the school, I saw that they had the course was for 15 months, and because I had no prior background in tech, I figured that 15 months was enough time for me. It's better than doing it for 12 months, doing my 2 semesters and doing my dissertation in 12 months. I felt it was going to be very overwhelming doing all of that. The school also had 3 months placements, but then I was under the assumption that the school was going to help me secure a place for my placement. But I mean, I've come to realize that I'm on my own, so I have to find somewhere for my placement. So all of
Yeah.
this brought my course to 18 months, but my school fees was just for 1 year. So after the 18 months, the UK government gives you an extra 3 to 4 months grace on your visa before the you have to apply for a postgraduate visa, or you get a skilled workers visa. So altogether, like, my visa is for approximately 2 years. So I have 2 years visa, and I mean, I'm not under any sort of pressure to get out of the UK or to get a job or anything, even though I put myself under the pressure. Then another thing I also considered about the school was the affiliation to AWS. In August last year, I became an AWS certified cloud practitioner, and that was partly because the school has an affiliation with them, and they can give you a 50% discount. I joined another community that gave me a 100% discount on the course anyway for the exam. Another thing I found interesting about the school was the school fees. They gave me a £5,000 discount of the £18,000 school fee. So what I had to pay
Mm,
was roughly 12,800 and something pounds. And as a self-sponsored student, I was looking for every means to conserve money. So I wasn't going to go to a school that will need to pay £20,000. I knew I couldn't afford that. Then
mm,
Bradford might not be the best place to live in. I mean, it's my city, and I'm not supposed to badmouth it, but it's not the best city in Europe. It's actually one of the worst cities out here. But in terms of affordability, this is one of the places with the lowest cost of living.
living.
When I moved here, my rent was so low that some of my friends were paying 3 times what I paid as rent when I
Wow.
moved here. So I also considered that I was sponsoring myself. I wasn't working yet. I wasn't under any scholarship. So I didn't
That's
want to put
tough.
yeah, I didn't want to put myself under any pressure financially. I just needed somewhere that would be comfortable enough. Whether or not I get a job, I'll still be able to pay my rent and pay my bills. So Bradford has a lot of things working for them, but I mean, it's been good so far.
Yeah, you're a very strong woman, and I like it when I see young people, doing mighty things I mean, I follow you on social media. I see some of the things you do, and I tell myself sometimes, if I had this kind of opportunity that a lot of young people have today, maybe I'll be far, far ahead of where I am today. But it's a good thing that we have people like you, people like other young people on social media helping, one or two people to like, get better and improve themselves and be a better person. So the next question I'm going to ask you is, why did you think UK? Why not US? Why not Canada? Why not Australia? Why not Sweden? Why not somewhere else? Why UK?
Well, first of all, it's the closest home. it's just
Uh-oh.
six. It's just 6 hours away from Nigeria, so that was one of the things I thought about. I considered Canada. Canada has always been my first love in terms of countries to move to, but because of my background in law, I tried applying to schools in Canada for tech courses, and there were not, because of my background, they weren't even open to considering my application. So the UK government introducing this conversion course for people because they felt like there's a shortage of workers in this area in AI and data analytics, data science. So we need to get more people. So if you're in other industry and you want to go into this, you can do a 1 to 2 year master's program, and and it's funded, partly funded by the UK government. That's why a couple of universities are doing that. And
Mm,
there are some other schools I would have been interested in going to, but those ones have data analytics or artificial intelligence for people from with STEM backgrounds, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics background. So if you have any other, so UK was the only country that actually opened its door widely for people from other
wow.
industry. Yeah, so that was the major reason I considered UK, and I also thought about moving here. There are a lot of black people here. There are a lot of Nigerians in this
Mm,
country. Yeah. And even though I've heard and seen a couple of Nigerians talking about it like it's a bad thing, or this place has been saturated by Nigerians, I actually think it's a beautiful thing. Waking up every day and stepping out of my apartment and I'm seeing people like me. I speak pidgin to them, and it's really
yeah.
cool. So those are some of the reasons I settled for the UK.
That's actually one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, because we're going to talk about that today. Being in a
Okay.
foreign land, with it could be very boring. I live in the
Yeah.
US, and honestly, sometimes life here could be funny. And if you don't have people that look like you around, it could be really messy for you, because you just find out that you're going into depression sometimes, because people don't want to talk to anyone. Everyone just want to go to work, come back, and then do their thing, and they lock themselves in their houses. But if you have people you can always talk to, it's a lot of benefits. I mean, I'm here, I know what I'm saying. So that's one of the reasons why we actually started We Connect, to bring international students together, to be in a place where you can talk to people. Sometimes you want to rant in the community. So that community is a place where you get to meet people that look like you, and there's a whole lot of benefits if you join the community. And if you would like to join, you can click the link here to join that community. We will go back to that, we'll talk about that later. But um when did you start applying? I think you already talked about this. It's you talked through most of the questions that I
Yeah.
wanted to ask, actually. So, and I have another question about accommodation. How did you sort your accommodation out? Because I read a lot of things online that people were complaining about accommodation in the UK, blah blah blah, why they were not able to get accommodation. So was it very easy for you to secure accommodation, or did you get the accommodation before you left Nigeria, or it was when you got to the UK that you made the arrangement? How easy was it for you?
Yeah, I think the living situation in the UK has changed a lot between when I started my process in 2021 and now. I actually got my accommodation. I was still in Nigeria. I booked from Nigeria, made payment from Nigeria before moving here. So I had a place to stay before moving to the UK. But it's really changed now. And one thing that has changed is the fact that there are more people in the UK. The UK has opened its doors to a lot more people, and there are no new houses springing up. It's the same amount of houses that has been here for a couple of years.
Wow.
So there's almost like a house, what's it called now, living crisis or something like that. So
Wow.
it's the cost of houses have gone up. I'm paying more than I was paying last year. So it's
Wow.
nearly impossible to get a place. And I think one mistake people make is I did a lot of crazy things when I was applying because I paid for my accommodation even before I applied for my visa. So I needed to get everything sorted. I got my visa in December 2021, but I already paid for my accommodation as early November or something. So I needed to get this sorted. But some people wait until they have their visas, they have their flights booked, and then they start searching for accommodation. It's going to be
Wow.
most of the student accommodations, you need about 3 to 4 months waiting time to be able to secure a place. So the moment you start applying for schools, you start applying for admission, you need to start looking for your accommodation then. And you also need to be very careful. I had to use like a well-known place. I'm staying in a well-known student accommodation here in
Hmm.
Bradford. So the issue of being defrauded was reduced drastically. So I made sure not to get defrauded in that. So you need to start searching for accommodation early. It's very difficult to get a place now. And it's even more difficult if you're coming with a family because unlike Nigeria, you cannot come with as a family of four and decide to go and stay in a one-bedroom
Hmm.
self-contained apartment. There's strict regulations on the kind of place you have to put your children in, the number of rooms that must be in the apartment. And to get that as a student, it's very difficult. Another thing I had working for me was I had friends who were willing to stand in as my guarantor because to get a place
Hmm.
here, you need to have a guarantor. And now I think the rules have even changed. The person needs to be someone who's permanent resident or a citizen, and the person needs to have be a homeowner or something like that. So getting someone like that as someone who's moving from Nigeria and you don't have anybody here, it can be really difficult. So sometimes you might even see houses that you like, but you won't find anybody. Sometimes they want you to show them proof of employment, and you're just here as a student. You haven't even
Hmm.
gotten a job. You haven't even gotten your national insurance number. Not talk of getting a job. So it's everything has changed. It's not as easy as it was when I got here. So when people say it's difficult to get a house, I totally understand that.
Yeah, I mean, let me speak to that also. In the US, they have hostels like dormitories, but the problem with that is that the dormitories are usually reserved for undergrads because these are kids, they are younger kids, and then
Yeah.
they want to protect them before they think about the
They
postgraduate
yeah.
students. Yeah, so it's not that bad here because there are accommodation, there are hostels, you know, around the school. Like the school that I went to, there are different houses, different accommodation around that you can actually, rent. And these are two-bedroom apartments that you can share with someone. These apartments have living room, they have kitchen, and they are all in suite. You don't have to share. So, and they made it so affordable that, a student can pay for it, which is why I deliberately asked about the accommodation in the UK. I don't know how it is in Canada. Maybe in the future, I will bring someone from the US, someone from Canada, and someone from other places to talk about this. If you're not yet in our community, please use the link on your screen to join our community today. It's free to join, but we have a lot of perks for people in the premium membership plan. And it's just click the link, you will see all the information when you join. And when you join, you'll be able to get a lot of information. One, you get internship, you get free courses, and then if there are paid courses, you're able to get discount for community members. We are giving up to 50% discount on trainings that they want to attend. So there's a whole lot to benefit. We have few people in the paid membership plan already. You don't have to be a paid member. You can join free. You still have opportunity to see some of the information that we share, but you cannot join any groups. You cannot see the job listing. We list a lot of internships for people abroad, especially UK, US, and Canada. We try to post those things, but you can only see those jobs if you are a premium member. You can be there for maybe 1, 2, 3 months, And if you feel this is not for you, you can opt out and stay on the free plan. But I tell you, you will get value for, being a premium member. Okay, so is there a point, Bibian, where you feel like this whole thing is just too much for me? Please, I don't want to do this again. I'm done. I want to go back home. Is there a time that you felt like that?
Yeah, I'm laughing because it was very, very recent as last month. I
Wow.
felt like I had had enough, and it was actually as a result of frustrations from job hunting. I mean, I gave myself a target in September last year to apply to 300 places and get at least three offers before I finish my master's. And I mean, at some point, I'm running on my program in March. At some point in January, it just felt like I panicked, like I had a proper
Oh.
panic attack. I was like, man, what if this doesn't work out? I'd already applied to 207 places and I didn't have an offer. I'd gotten over 100 rejections.
207.
Yeah, I'd gotten over 100 and almost 120 rejection mails, and there was no offer, not even one. And the one that looked promising, the day that I made a post, that was so close to packing my things and going back home. The one company I was hoping on to get something
Oh.
from, he just came and told me, "Oh, sadly, we don't offer sponsorship." I'm like, why am I going through this whole process if you're not going to give me sponsorship for visa? What's the point?
Mm.
So it I've had so many of those moments when I was learning how to during the summer vacation. I was learning SQL, Python, and sometimes I would get so frustrated, run a code over and over and over again, and I keep getting error messages. I'm like, I should have just sat back home reviewing agreements, attending to my clients, and like, what's the point of this whole thing? And sometimes I while I was working, because I was doing some survival jobs, I was working as a carer in some nursing homes. I had some moments, some really, really low moments that had me questioning why I even started in the first place. So I had to stop that completely because it was messing with my mental health generally, and it was messing with my physical health because I did mostly night shifts, and it messed with my circadian rhythm, and I didn't want to have any of those. So I had to stop working. So I have had so many low moments, and it's very normal with. I've noticed that it's very normal with anybody who moved from any other environment to a new environment. First of all, I moved in the peak of winter. I moved in January. So moving from very hot Lagos to very cold Bradford, and Bradford is up north, it's colder than London. So it was I had this seasonal affective depression, something. There's some
Wow.
mental health, yeah, that you experience, not because you're really sick but because of the weather. So the weather was, it was really messed up. It was always raining, it was very cloudy, everywhere was so gray, everybody was wearing black because most winter jackets are black. So you just see people wearing their black jackets face down. Nobody would even look at your face because everybody is freezing. Nobody would say anything to you. You would say hi to people and they won't even respond because I mean it's freezing. So it was really, compared to the bustling life in Lagos, the kind of life I was used to in Lagos. I know it was a far cry from that. So I had so many of those low moments. But then I'm grateful to have really supportive people. I have a very huge support system here in the UK that I haven't even exhausted. Yeah, 1 year after I moved. So I have a place I call home here, that whenever I feel like, okay, I need to go get some love, I need to really go home, I can pack up my load and go home, like in a family setting, meet people, see
Mhm.
children, laugh with them, and then I come back recharged and all. There are so many struggles, there are so many down moments, but I feel like it's worth it actually.
Yes, I mean, on that note, I would say that it's really worth it because when I came to the US for my studies, I actually came with two children. Imagine what
Wow.
that means. Yes, in a place that I have never lived before, I came with two children. It was really stressful for me, but like you said, being in a place with the right people and you have support system, it's gonna relieve you of the stress. I was very fortunate that I got a family friend in the US that helped me with the kids for 1 year while I was in school. They took my children and they were taking care of my children. I was only going there every 2 weeks to see them, and I'll go back to school. That was a great relief for me. And talking about boredom, talking about getting frustrated, honestly, it happened to the best of us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get really frustrated about the whole thing, the whole system, and you'll be like, okay, why am I here? For me, people that know about my story are always wondering why I took that decision to leave everything behind and come, abroad. For what now? Why? Because back home I already had over 10 years experience, so to speak, in corporate Nigeria, in one of the biggest companies in Nigeria. I was already a manager in the company. When I say manager, I'm talking about manager in a very big company, not manager in anyhow company. That I had official car. I was living in Lekki, in my own house in Lekki. I was really living good. I had the business set up in Lekki. I had a photo studio, and I had to close down my business. I had to resign from my job. When I was leaving my company, they were like, okay, why are you going to study? You already know everything. You're already doing well on this job. Well, I said, that's what you know now. I am seeing 5 years' time. And I came to the US 5 years ago. And thank God, everything just fell in, everything is in line for me right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a
And
permanent resident.
and I mean, I feel like it's important that people see the timeline, because there are a lot of people who feel like they get into this new place, and 1 year after, you've not done this, you've not bought a house, you've not bought a car, you don't have high paying job, you feel like you've not done enough for yourself. I mean, 5 years is a long time. I've practiced law for 6 years, so that's 6 years minus 1 year. That's
Mm,
how much time you've invested. So when people see others reaping the proceeds of the work they've put into getting into tech, they need to know
mm.
that it's a process, it takes time.
It takes time, maybe in another webinar I will talk about, the process. But honestly, I give it 5 years because my program was 18 months. It took me like 2 years to finish. And honestly, I planned ahead. At the time I came in, I was already thinking, how do I make myself a permanent resident of the United States? What do I need to do? What are the options? From the first year that I came to the US, I already started planning that. I already started looking at options. I already started talking to people. What are the different opportunities that I can leverage on? I was lucky that I got internship right in school. I was lucky that there's something called graduate assistantship in the US. If you're a graduate student, and you'll get a job in the school, that will net off like 50% of your tuition. Let's say your tuition is $24,000 and you get graduate assistantship, it will net off 12,000 from it.
Wow,
So
that's really beautiful.
what you will pay is just going to be like 50%. And also in my school, the school that I graduated from, when you get that 50%, you also have the opportunity to be paying monthly. You can do
Oh,
payment plan, yes. So you're not going to pay everything at a time. Even within the semester, you pay by semester. You break the rest into semesters and then break it into months. And then your graduate assistantship, when you get that, you are paid. In my case, I was paid $1,000 every month, despite the fact that they cut like 50% of my
okay,
tuition.
okay, yeah.
Yes, they were paying me stipend of $1,000 that I was using to take care of little things, here and there. And I also had my husband supporting me at that time. So you need to draw out your plan. I'm going for a 2 years because, like you said, you already knew what you wanted right from the time you started. You said, okay, this year you want to apply to social number of companies, and you're looking at social number of offers. And at the end of the day, you got it. Who will ever get 10 rejection emails and will want to continue? For me, every rejection email that I get, it throws me off balance. And I start questioning my ability. What is going on? What am I doing right? What am I not doing right? Before I graduated, my second year, the beginning of my second, because you cannot get internship outside school in your first year. You have to complete a full year in the US as a student before you can go outside of school and go and work and earn. So I was very lucky. I got internship. Immediately I finished my 1 year. And it didn't just fall on my lap. I was applying while I was in my first year, and I got one, and I did that for about 6 months, and they were paying me. They were paying me as a student at that time. I was just doing 20 hours, but they were paying me. So that also now gave me the US experience on my resume. So when I started applying for jobs, they'll tell me to talk about my internship. They don't want to know about what I did in Nigeria, honestly speaking. They were not interested. They would tell me, "Can you tell me more about what you did during your internship?" And that was what gave me my first job. I interview with a lot of companies, but that like opened doors. So that's that about applying for job. You need to get into the school before you start thinking of applying for job. So if you are
Yeah,
here today and you're thinking of studying abroad, you need to first of all get into a school. See, there's a process, like Vivian said. The first thing is for you to start your application. The next thing is for you to look for scholarship opportunities. I'm going to partner with you, Bibian, on this so that we can work on scholarship opportunities for people that are already in the community, so
that's
that they
okay.
can. Yes, so please, I will work with you on this.
Yeah,
We need to
but
give
the challenge with the scholarships here in the UK is that most of them usually have a caveat. Like for you to get a tangible scholarship here, if you're looking for fully funded scholarship, they always want you to go back home after your
wow.
studies. Yeah, so if you're looking to study here and remain here legally after your studies, fully funded scholarship might not be the best. You can get discounts from
Mhm.
school. You can apply to your school. Different schools have different scholarships, different grants. It could be £1,000 here, £3,000 there. So you can apply for a number of them. Some of them have
Mhm.
automatic fee waivers that they can give you. So you can look for those. But if you're looking for fully funded, I get asked this question a lot about fully funded scholarships. Unless you just want to do a master's degree and go back home, then there are a lot of
Mhm.
them. Chevening, Commonwealth scholarship. There's so many of them that you can actually look out for. But for the UK is a bit stingy when it comes to scholarships generally.
Yeah. So thank you for that. This is something I don't know about before. Thank you for this information. And
Yeah.
also people that are thinking of coming to the US also. And I think that there are other opportunities. When you get into the school without the scholarship, there are scholarships within the school. I know of the school that I went to, there's a scholarship portal on the school website that you can go, but you need to have one semester. Um, um, um,
Yeah, because they will need to see how you've performed in that semester
yeah, so
before they
you
can
need a
offer you.
GPA. Yeah, some of them will say 3.0, some of them they will specify what you want. So if I were you, I would go for the ones that target Black people. There are some of them that target Black people. Our goal, Takaveli's goal, is to start sponsoring scholarships in schools that we partner with in the nearest future, because we can actually do that as an organization, as an individual. So our goal is to start helping Nigerians to get scholarship. Once we just give the scholarship, we will select, we set our criteria and select, but that is in the pipeline already. But you can get into your school and go to your portal, or you can apply for graduate assistantship. A lot of people don't know about it. They don't even understand what this is called. So it will help you to like cut off like 50% of your tuition, and they'll be paying you monthly for working. And then you'll be able to file your tax with that. You'll be able to get your driver's license. You'll be able to get your social security if you're in America. So it gives you opportunity. Once you get that job inside the school, not even outside now, they will give you social security number that you will use for life. Nobody can take it away from you. So you can only they can only change it from they're going to put a caveat on it, but once you change your status, they will change it from their end. But that number is the number you're going to be using. And you can file your tax return and get some money back. A lot of information that people don't know about. People in Nigeria don't know all this because they are not here. And
Yeah.
that's why we're going to be bringing people that are they are in these places like Bibian, like other people in different parts of the world that can share their real life experience, not what they are reading. Sometimes what you're reading in the paper or on the internet, it's not broad. It doesn't give you the inside information. It doesn't. It's not. It's just vague. That's the word. A lot of people go ahead, read, and read, but what they are seeing is just vague. All right. So if I'll say this again. The banner to join our community will soon go off. So if you still want to be part of the community, please join the community. You can join as a free member and then you
Yeah, I
migrate.
think someone has dropped the link in the
Oh,
chat
thank you.
session, so you can just check the link
Thank you,
dropped.
Favor.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
just click on the link and sign up to join the community.
Okay, so we're going to come back to all the questions, but I just want us to run through all this that we said. So, in your location, is there like a community of Nigerians, or and maybe a community of Nigerians, and then maybe a Nigerian church? We will come back to that. I don't want to be a Nigerian community very soon, so that we can talk about that in a bit. So, is there a community like that? You know?
Yeah, yeah. My school has the Nigerian Student Society to start with. So they have events, they have programs. They send you, if you sign up. I think it's £5,000 for the entire year. If you sign up to join, you don't need to pay to get some of the benefits. They have events, but sadly, I don't attend most of the events. But when I find time, I attend. There are churches here. There's a Catholic church just beside me. The priest there is a Nigerian, funnily.
Wow.
So yes, but I've only been to the church once. Then my place, like my village, my clan, we have a community of people from my place here in the UK. They have meetings, they have get-togethers from time to time. So the best thing you can do is try not to keep your relocation private. I know a lot of people try to do that for some personal reasons, but if you're really looking to get support, there's no point hiding the fact that you're moving. The moment I announced I was coming to the UK, I had at least 100 people, and this is me being very moderate. I had at least 100 people reaching out to me, both those who were in the UK and people who were not in the UK. I know someone here. I've spoken to the person about you. If you ever need anything, there's almost no city with Nigerian here in the UK, with Nigerians here in the UK, that I can go to. All I have to do is go through my messages, search for the name of the city. There's probably someone there that knows me, or someone that someone has told about me. So I think being popular on Facebook played a major role in that. But
Right.
there's no way you won't know anybody or someone that knows somebody that will step in to help you. So the moment I mentioned I was coming, it turns out at least four families from my place that knew me from way back in Nigeria, they studied here in Bradford and decided to settle here. And they are like family to me. So whenever I feel like going home, I can either go to them. If I need anything, they are always willing to help. And the good thing with most Nigerians here is that they don't hoard, especially the ones who have been here long enough. They are not hoarding information. They are not hoarding assistance. If you need anything, as long as you ask them, they'll be willing to help you. So there are so many communities that you can join if you're Christian. For me, I'm more on the agnostic side, so I don't attend church events. I only attend when I'm invited for particular program or something. So if you're Christian, you can attend churches, and if they know you're a new person, they don't have to be Nigerians. Actually, they'll be very open to help you. So networking is a very big deal here. So if
Right.
it's either you're networking through the church side, or it could be something you're interested in. It could be sports. I've met people just from boxing. I've met a lot of people in my boxing classes. We just ask them for help. Open your mouth and speak to them. And I think it's one thing that a lot of Nigerians struggle with networking. To a very large extent, we're very timid. We struggle with striking up conversations with
Right.
people randomly. Yeah, but it's
Right.
something people here. If you see them on the road, they appear very new. They just say you all right, and then they keep moving. But once they see that you're in the same, there's something bringing you guys together. There's a point of similarity. Maybe we both play tennis, or we both attend this program, we both attend
Right.
this church together. They'll be willing to have conversations with you. You will even be the one running away because they will talk too much. They will talk your head off. So there are so many communities you can join, and as much as possible, try to integrate in whatever community you find yourself in. It's very okay to want to be with your fellow Nigerians, your fellow Africans, your fellow Yoruba people, your fellow Igbo people, but if you're really in a community, to have a total feel of that community, you need to mix up with people from other parts of the world, people from the community in particular. So there are so many this thing. All you just have to do is search or ask people who have been here longer than you, and they'll point you in the right direction. And then most schools, during the induction, a lot of people do not attend inductions. I actually didn't. So during the inductions, they will give you links, they will give you flyers to different programs. You want to join this, you want to join that. It's always very, very important to join, especially if you don't have as much support as I did. So if you don't have anyone here, try to join as many societies as possible. You will make friends, you will get mentors, you will get people who will recommend you for jobs. And here, most times they advertise jobs just for advertising sake. The moment someone knows you're good at what you do, they can recommend you. And once they recommend you, it's you have to be really terrible for you not to get the job. So it's important to
Right.
really network here.
Yeah, networking is very good. Let me tell you a short story about how I got to know some of my friends, including people like Mia. We all attended the same school, and funny enough, we had a community of Nigerians in my school, and the school still says it till tomorrow that our set is about the best set so far of Nigerian students, because when we came, we were deliberate, we were intentional. We started going to different programs. We started going to career fairs. We told ourselves from day one. Mia was really very out, and she was like from the our induction. We became friends on our induction day. So she came up, we became friends, my sister and other people, and then we formed like a clan. We were doing assignments together. Another thing that I see is that most people, they struggle with assignments. Join this community. Let's talk about it. There are groups in the community of people that want to move abroad. That's one group. People that are currently in school, that's another group. People that have graduated like me is another group. So that when you opt for the paid membership, you are in all the groups. So that if you are currently studying and you have someone, you can get information for that person. So if you're thinking that I'm graduating next year, I'm graduating this year, you can get information, because once you paid for that, you have access to everything, including the job board. We post. I saw a comment about how do you start applying for internship. We have a job board in our community where we post jobs every day. If you go there, what you see more there is internship, because like 90% of our registrants, our members are students or intending students. So we post internships a lot. So like I was saying, we started that, and we started going to different camps. We started going to job fair. Amia got her first job into Cisco from job fair. I got my first job from there. And a lot of people that I know, there are opportunities. So when you are deliberate and intentional about what you want to do, honestly, you will get what you want and be in the right clique. The first I made a post about me being stubborn. The first assignment, or the first one of my courses, I got a C because I was stubborn. I thought I knew it all. I thought because I have 10 years experience from Nigeria, it doesn't count. You have to come down to people's level, mix with people, network. And it took someone to say, Madam, calm down. You will just be failing all your courses like this. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. I had to now say, oh, because of that, I got a C in that course. And that impacted, I would have been on 4.0, as in like that, because I was really very good. But you have to mix up. You need to connect with people. Right. Another thing that networking can do for you, like when you get into a new school, like one of the people that I helped to get admission into my school, I also do that. If you're looking for someone to handhold you, we will do this year alone. This is second month. We already got 3 people into the US this year already, and we started the process from them from scratch, and they don't have any problem with application fee. And then what's this other one?
IELTS, the English language stuff.
No, they waived that one. I can't remember, but I'll get. There's a payment you make to. Yeah, there's a payment you make. Then you get a receipt and take it to embassy for your visa. So I remember before the end of it, it just escaped my mind. So we help people to do all of that. And then if you want to do your West verification, we also help with that, with the payment, so you don't have any problem. But join the group. There's a whole lot that is going to happen. So there's this guy that came. He got his visa, and he sent me a message that now I'll be moving in, but I don't know anyone. I don't know where to stay. I don't even know what the airport looks like. I don't know who to get. I was able to get this guy, somebody to pick him up at the airport. I was able to get this guy into the Nigerian Students Association, and I sent a message there that we need a, yeah, it's not, yeah, service fee, Ella Chuku, thank you, it's service fee. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. So there's service fee, and then you get a service number, and you use that service number to apply for your visa. Then you would have gotten, because I-20 also, your service fee will be number will be on your I-20. So that's what I was trying to remember. Thank you. So, and this guy, we're able to get him somebody to help him with accommodation and everything. And at the end of the day, he said it's fine. And then you're in a group. There was a time we were supposed to go and do an assignment. I think it was our database management class, and we needed to do. We didn't know nothing. We had to drive to where the Indians were. It was tough. We drove to where the Indians were, and they helped us. What if we have a community of Nigerians helping themselves? If the Indians don't have that kind of community to help people, am I or any of my mates, are we going to be able to get to them to help us? So that's what we need to build as a community, as a tribe. Okay. Do we, I think we covered everything for Bibian, so that, yeah. I was about to talk about your internship. I think you already talked about it, but if you'd like to tell us about your internship, how you applied for it out, and how you finally got it, what you feel, how you feel, what it feels like now to be working,
Yeah.
tell us a little
So
bit about that.
the internship is it's actually by the side. I got a full-time job with one of the biggest indigenous companies here. I haven't finalized it. That's why I don't want to reveal the name of the company yet. We've not I just got an offer. We're still negotiating and all of that. So I started applying in September, early September. I started sending out applications. I was doing an average of 10 applications per day for the month of September and October. I had to slow down at some point because I needed to start working on my coursework for last semester. And I was also doing the Cisco incubator program. I got into the Cisco incubator program during the summer vacation, but it started in October, so it was a whole lot. So I had to slow down at some point. So in the course of the applications, I would get invited to do some assessments. After doing the assessment, some of them would ask me to do a pre-recorded video interview that lasted for up to an hour. They'll ask you several questions, and then you record your answer and all of that. So I went through all of those processes, and I got rejected for most of them. Some of them I got rejected immediately after applying. Some I got rejected after the initial assessment because maybe I didn't reach the mark they were looking for, or maybe because of answering some questions, they thought I wasn't a good fit for their company. And then for some of them, I got rejected after the video interview because I didn't give the answers they were expecting, or for any reason. But then there was a rejection I got 2 weeks ago. That one I had done the final interview, did everything well, and I got rejected. I asked for feedback. The feedback they gave me was not totally accurate because some of the things I said were not true. And I think what played a role in that was the fact that the people who interviewed me, and if you're coming here, you should be very conscious of, you need to be conscious of your skin color because it plays a huge role in so many things. No matter how good you think you are, somehow your skin color, your accent is going
To
to,
give
it's
you
going to be,
away.
yeah, it's going to be a barrier at some point. So I figured part of what happened during that interview, the two persons who interviewed me, they were fully Brits, and probably misunderstood some of the things I said, interpreted it in their own way. They didn't ask for clarifications and all of that. So, I mean, the rejection mails, they were backbreaking, they were heartbreaking. I had I had so many low moments, but I found my way around it. I found out that going to work out at the gym helped claim it helped to clear my head, and it helped me stay on course because there were times when I would be like, okay, maybe this is not my thing really. because it's one thing for one company to say no to you, but for 50, 60, 100 companies, come on, they can't all be wrong. So there were days I felt like this is actually not my thing, so I need to give up, until last week when I got the call from this company offering me a place and saying so many nice things that everybody, I had 3 interviews with them, that everybody who interviewed me wanted me, and I was one of the highest performers during their interviews, and they were so lucky to have me. It felt so surreal. And the thing with this is, most times, like, what I've come to realize is, it's not that you're not qualified for this job. Most times it just depends on your performance at the interview, because two of the persons that I had my group interview with, there are people who studied computer science, information science at bachelor's level, did business intelligence analytics, data science and analytics at master's level. And these people have done internships as data analysts. I don't have any experience whatsoever. I can barely even run any code, because most of the codes I learned to run during the summer period, I'm not practicing, so I've forgotten most of them. I need to refresh my memory. So these were people that were chosen. I was chosen ahead of. So it's not like they didn't know better than me. It's just that at the time they were not able to sell themselves as much as I was able to sell myself to the. So I've learned a lot in the course of this whole process. I also got the data engineering role that I got with the UK company. That one I'm supposed to resume in September, all things being equal. Then I got another internship with a fintech company, which is the one I resumed this week. So I feel like once it rains, it pours, and this could be negative or positive, because I'm interviewing with the company I got a job with is a Fortune 500 company. I interviewed with a Fortune 100 company yesterday. I have another interview with a Fortune 500 company next week. So it's going to keep rolling in. I have others that have been telling me that I should hold on. They're going to get back to me on when I'm going to have the next interview. So I'm going to keep getting rejection mails as long as I keep applying, because I'm still going to reach
Right.
my I'm going to reach my 300 jobs mark despite this offer that I've gotten. Because I mean, if I get one offer, I need like two or three more to be able to choose the best one from.
Right.
I'll still get more rejection mails, but I want to be able to tell myself that, yeah, I said I was going to do this and I did it, and it's happening, and it
Yeah.
feels
Thank
good.
you so much, Bibian. I mean, you're so inspiring, honestly. Your story, everything, and I claim this for people in this webinar today. If you're here today and you have this desire, it doesn't have to be traveling abroad, but if this is your goal for 2022, you need to start at 2023. You need to start now. We have like 8 minutes to the end of this webinar, and please join the community and let's just keep this conversation going on. Bibian is there in the community and she's there to answer any question you have. Go ahead and ask her more questions in the community and we will respond. We have very limited time, but we have like two questions. Somebody asked that in case where you don't have anyone in the UK, how are you able to go about your accommodation? What do you advise? Let's just keep it very short so that I can take a few questions.
Yeah.
And there's someone that wants to speak that we bring online abundantly. So let's just quickly answer that.
Yeah, for the accommodation, if you don't have anyone here, you have to start searching way early. Like, if you're looking to start schooling, say in September, you need to start reaching out to, especially if you're coming alone and you're looking to stay in a student accommodation, then you can start looking for student accommodations close to your school. Search for people, go on LinkedIn and search for people who have studied in the school you're going to, or who are currently studying there. You might find people, ask them questions that will tell you which is the best accommodation around that area. Then you can send an email to them asking them to reserve a place for you in September. You're probably going to be the first on the list. It might be crazy, but I mean, it's part of what I did. So you can try that as an option. And if you're coming here and you don't have a place, please keep money for Airbnb or a hotel, at least for the first 3 weeks. You need to have enough money for that, because most people are just managing and the cost of living is very high. And I don't think
Mhm.
anybody would want to accommodate you for an entire month before you get somewhere. So try as much as possible to be comfortable, even when people have promised you. Because I had somewhere I stayed for 10 days before moving, but in the 10 days I was there, my house rent here was already counting, because I made sure I paid for the period I was going to be in the UK. I did not, despite all of the promises I got from people, I did not put them into consideration when I was making my arrangements. I made
Right.
alternative arrangements.
And okay, thank you, Bibian. And I hope that helps. Like I said, please join the community and ask Bibian any questions. She will be ready to answer you in the community. Unfortunately, we can't go beyond 1 hour. We have like 6 minutes to go. Let me quickly bring Bolanle. Bolanle, make it very brief. Mm, it looks like we can't bring you on. We can't bring you
I
on.
think because of the time.
Yes, because of the time, we are very close to ending this, so we can't bring additional presenter on. The only thing is that one person has to drop and allow other people. But let's take the questions in the chat box. Okay. Someone said, Bibian, are you willing to share your story? Uh, loans, different layers of courage. I'm not getting that.
She's just saying my willingness to share my story loans us a different layer of courage. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Because thank you.
So there's another one that says, Tony says, Bibian, would you advise anyone to get on the program you're on? And if you had to make a recommendation?
If to be totally honest, it's not the best of programs to start with. I didn't get exactly what I was looking to get while I applied. They are not going to give you like practical knowledge. You have to figure out a whole lot of things on your own. And I don't know what it's like for other schools, but if you're just looking for an avenue to get an idea of what it is to be in AI and data analytics, then you can try Bradford. But if you're looking to get like thorough teaching and learning, and I would totally not recommend them. But the good thing is it gives you a lot of time, especially if you're applying for the January intake. And I would always advise anyone do the January intake because you have 4 months of summer holiday to do whatever you want to do. If you want to travel, oh please travel, get your Schengen visa and travel. I totally enjoy that. So you have 4 months to do what you want to do, start preparing for your dissertation and all of that. But if you do September, you don't have any summer holiday.
So thank you, Bibian. And someone is saying, what's your path to getting a PR in the US? I'm a permanent resident of the US, so join the group, ask the question. We don't have enough time. We'll talk about it. We can even jump on a call and do like a call and have a discussion via video. Just join the community so that we have enough time.
Yeah, someone asked if
Um,
I still want to go into product management. Yeah, it still is like my ultimate goal, but I want to get into the industry first. I need to get into a company that would give me the opportunity to really explore, to be able to take on products. Yeah, I'm still going to do that. Totally.
Yeah, so finally, before we leave, let me also say this. Not all schools will teach you everything you need to get a
Yep.
job. You have to do some
They won't
self-study.
they won't
You
teach
have
you
to
anything.
I also did a 2 year program. I did a lot of certifications. I did with my master's degree. I also did a lot of self training. I paid. Some of them I paid. So for those of you looking for free training everywhere, it's good to go for free training, but get some pay. Anything free, it will be watery. It won't be solid. So even if it's just to just close your eyes, pay for it. And when you do that, when you get some training, it helps you to follow through even in school, because sometimes it will look like they are speaking gibberish if you
Yeah.
don't know what they
Yeah.
are talking about. So you need to prepare. Why are you spending so much money? You're spending up to like 24, $30,000, and you cannot spare like $500 to prepare yourself and be on top of what you're doing. Come on. So do that. There's a whole lot coming on. We have another webinar next week that will be talking about, we are bringing someone that will be talking about admission process and then different things you need to know when you want to start your application. So aside Bibian sharing some scholarship information, please join us and then you can leverage this. There's a whole lot of benefits, and 1 hour is not enough for us to talk about everything we need to discuss. One question can lead to a lot of conversation. So when you ask your question, don't join the group and keep quiet. Join the community, ask questions. This will help us a whole lot to continue the conversation. It's going to become like a thread. and there'll be follow-up question there and there and there. So thank you again, Bibian, for coming on. You inspire me, honestly, and I know that you inspire a lot of people. I like your story. I can relate. I understand, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. We keep connecting in the group, and if we need to bring you back, we'll bring you back
Yeah, I'll
for
be happy
another.
to come back. Totally happy. Yeah, I'm really excited to do
Okay.
this.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining. I think you're going to receive a replay of this